The aspect of comedy in pro wrestling is somewhat of a controversial topic. R-Truth, Orange Cassidy, Santino Marella, Chris Jericho, The Rock, and Danhausen are just a few of many wrestlers who are famous for their comedic roles, and whilst many fans enjoy a good laugh in a match or promo, others think that comedy and wrestling do not go together. Over the years we've seen many comedic moments in wrestling shows which will never be forgotten. Classic moments like Kurt Angle's milk truck, Eddie Guerrero's ways of cheating to get wins over his opponents, and pretty much all of The Rock's backstage promos. Moments like these helped elevate these wrestlers and entertain a wide range of WWE's audience. However, within recent years it seems that Vince McMahon is stuck in the old days and continuously tries to recreate these iconic moments, or force comedy in moments that it should not be in. Pulling off a comedic act in pro wrestling is not something which can be taught to a pro wrestler. Being funny is simply a part of somebody's character and personality. Viewers can easily tell the difference between natural and purely funny moments, and forced out-of-place comedy. Ever since the PG era began, Raw and SmackDown evolved from an edgy and rough wrestling show to pretty much a children's wrestling show, which has led to some horrible moments in the WWE. On the other hand, AEW uses the aspect of comedy more sparingly in their shows, in a more natural and spontaneous way. AEW is not perfect and they surely had their fair share of unfunny moments, like Nyla Rose throwing burgers at Britt Baker, Chris Jericho falling in a kiddies pool filled with mimosa, and who could forget the explosion botch at Revolution. WWE giving scripts to their wrestlers for their promos really limits the creativity and realism of the wrestlers' delivery. This is why most of their promos sound robotic and generic. How can a team of 27 Hollywood writers write a pro wrestling show? AEW simply gives bullet points to their wrestlers and leaves it up to the talent to take care of the details and plan how they are going to deliver their lines. Can you imagine giving MJF a script to read off from? AEW trusts the process of letting the wrestlers discuss their material with their opponents prior to their match and be creative. Being a comedy wrestler does not necessarily mean that the wrestler's gimmick is to be a full-time comedian like Santino Marella was in his days. Although in his case I personally adored the character, there aren't many people that can pull it off like he did. The balance of wrestling and comedy is something which every superstar should have the ability to control. R-Truth and Orange Cassidy are prime examples of this. These guys are super talented athletes, incredible in the ring when it's time to be serious, yet hysterical when they are in a more relaxed environment. Yet some fans believe that such wrestlers have a more restricted limit to their potential of their careers. In a short YouTube documentary by Kenny Johnson, Colt Cabana talks about the aspect of comedy in pro wrestling and he states that you don't go in the ring and start telling stand-up jokes and doing weird improv scenes or magic. You keep it within the context of wrestling because the wrestling fans bought their tickets to see a wrestling show, they want to see wrestling. There is a fine line, and some people break it and some people keep within it. I think we can all agree that wrestling should entail as many emotions as possible, because the more emotionally invested the audience becomes, the better the quality of wrestling we get to see and be a part of. Should comedy be in wrestling? Sure. As long as it's done within the context of wrestling and does not go overboard.